another episode of Includability Shorts, a series of short, snappy chats stuffed with hot tips from our incredible includability partner experts. I am delighted to be joined by the wonderful Victoria Hardy, founder of Ginge Unhinged, a passionate advocate for women's health and author of the brilliant My Menopause, My Journal, My Rules. Victoria, it's so lovely to catch up with you as always. And it would be incredible to get your guidance on how perhaps as senior leaders we can be true allies when it comes to supporting menopause within the workplace. Where should businesses begin, and how do you feel perhaps that we can empower those conversations?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I have got 4 top tips for you today. They're kind of my fundamentals, I like to say. So the first one is really before we even get to menopause, is around empathetic inclusivity. Because we need to be thinking about, if you take the topic of menopause, is who is affected by menopause. So yes, we might be thinking about our colleagues or our customers, but it's about going a little bit deeper than that. So not just thinking about the average age box, thinking about, are people going through this a lot younger, through surgery or cancer treatment, or are they going through it prematurely? You know, this can happen from teenagers. So, you know, as the new workforce comes in, we need to be looking after those people too. How does it fit into our work world in cultural circumstances and with disability and you know, even sexuality? How does that play a part? So I always say, get your empathy goggles on and think about, who are we reaching here when we think about putting anything into place around, you know, what are our next steps, or if we're starting that conversation. So the first tip is always get empathy, you know, our goggles on, and with that kind of inclusive lens. The second tip to think about is policies, because we hear a lot about menopause policies, but I'm going to give you a bit of a spoiler that these are not going to change your business, for, you know, how this conversation is going to be had. Policies are fantastic and they definitely have a place in our business. But what we need to be thinking about is, where do they serve? So they're going to serve things like changing uniform, flexible working hours, performance conversations. Those are where policies have a place, and they're great at protecting the workforce and the people and the colleagues around us, but they're not going to solve having the conversation. Which brings me on to our third tip, which is communication is not having the conversation. So when we think about communication, that's very strategic. So that's awareness days and maybe even storytelling and getting groups involved to talk and share their experiences, even senior leaders. That's all amazing, and we want to keep that conversation really flowing, that communication being engaging and ongoing, but it's very different to having the conversation in the workplace. So that is very much about bringing it into every day. So that's about when we truly ask somebody how they're feeling, being really open the conversations about, you know, how are their symptoms? How can you as a leader help to support them? What do they need? Are there any adjustments that they need today that might not be adjustments for next week? And being very flexible and always just learning from each other, just in that human to human way, right? So when we think about having the conversation, it's not communication. It's about just continually doing that in a really beautifully human way, just every day, and being very open around it. And the last thing is culture, which is huge, right? To change culture in business. But if we can be human with our culture and kind of look at establishing those first 3 areas that I talked about, that's where the role modeling of senior leaders come in. That's where we really encompass everything around, from whether it's training, whether it's not just doing an awareness day, but bringing this up continually to kind of keeping on with the conversation, and saying, look, we don't have it all right. Like, take the feedback from those around you and just continually keep revisiting to improve where, you know, women's health and menopause comes into the conversation. So those are my 4 top tips.
Victoria, you are amazing. Thank you so much, as always, for all of your guidance. You're just perfect. Thank you. It's been a joy to catch up. And to everyone who has just watched our latest Includability short, thank you so much for joining us. For more of these light bulb moments, please do head over to weareincludability.co.uk, or of course you can check out our YouTube and Spotify channels. So let's keep learning, let's keep growing, and let's keep making our workplaces more inclusive, more diverse, and mentally healthy together. Thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone.